Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anissa. I am the Crafty author and welcome to my quilting studio. Today we're gonna cut out some pieces for our Hunter Star block. I am using the AccuQuilt GO die for this, and this cuts all of the pieces that I need for my block. So I've already cut them all out pretty much. I'm just about done. This will be the last one that I'll go through here. And then we'll be ready to start assembling all of these pieces to make this beautiful quilt. And also, I will be working with the Go Big electric cutter. So I will show you how that all works. It is awesome. It cuts a quilt in like, I think so far it's probably taken me maybe 20 minutes to cut out all of this, maybe less. This is going to be a pretty large quilt. I am following the instructions that came with my AccuQuilt for the Hunter Star. It's a lot of pieces. You can buy a template, a Hunter Star template, if you don't have an AccuQuilt, but I'm telling you, you definitely want an AccuQuilt. It works with the Go Big, which is what I have. This one I love because it saves my hands from arthritis. And I already have arthritis and fibro, and so this really helps me a lot. Today is going to be all about the cutting, and then I'm going to show you how I begin to stitch these together. But I'm going to show you what it looks like so far. So this was my test run. I always do a test run before I do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera so you can see how I prepare the fabric for this and put it through the AccuQuilt Go Big electric cutter. Also, it goes through the Go Baby or the Go Me, which is the smaller one. Because this is a 6-inch die, it fits through that smaller one as well. So, you know, if you find that you maybe want to get an AccuQuilt, but maybe this is too much of an AccuQuilt, you can go with the AccuQuilt GO ME, which is also cool. I have that one, and you've watched me do stuff there. And if you haven't, then you can actually click on my playlist here on YouTube under AccuQuilt, and you can see the numerous things that I've done with them. All right, so we can cut up to 4 layers of fabric with our AccuQuilt die. And this is the AccuQuilt Hunter Star die, and it finishes at 6 inches. We can put up to 4 layers on here. So I am just going to layer my fabric here. Now this is going to cut 8 because I'm going to put another layer. So we have 4 layers here. And I just have this one last piece that I need to cut for this layer. And now all I'm going to do is just take my mat, my cutting mat, and I'm going to put that on top. And I'm just going to feed this through the machine. Now this is the Go Big electric machine, and I love this machine. But this helps to save my hands. I don't have to worry about the cutting and all of that on there. So I didn't cut that piece right. It's because of the way I layered this on here, but I'll show you how it looks. So cut my pieces here correctly. These are my letter A pattern pieces. So I'm going to set these aside like so. And these are the ones in the colors of the cherry blossoms that I'm working with as well. So we'll just set those aside. Got my big triangles here. So I'm separating everything so that I can keep it nice and neat, and I'm going to know what's going to go kind of where. So let's see. And I am still battling a cold, so if I sound funny, that's why. All right, so I have all my pieces cut out. I'm going to lay them on my mat accordingly to how they should be so that I don't mix them up. These are, and if you get lost and you don't know which piece you have, you can always line it back up onto your thing. And I'm using these little bowls that I got at Target at the dollar spot, I think, or else Dollar Tree, I don't remember. I've had them for quite a while, but I just used a piece of tape and wrote the letters on them so that I could keep them all straight. And that's what they look like in the bowls. And then I have a bigger tray for my bigger stuff, my bigger pieces with the instructions for the quilt. And that's all we have. Okay, so we are now ready to start putting our blocks together. So I've already gone ahead and done all of these ones, and I put those 2 cherry blossom edges on this one piece. So it's going to look like this, just like that. There you go. And what that does is it actually creates our star. And so it's very important that we put these on the correct way. So I've already sewn on my triangle piece. I've put all the pieces together here. So now we're going to just start piecing the rest of them. And now our triangle will be right here. And it will be our cherry blossom fabric for that. And so that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to use a leader. A leader is just a scrap piece of fabric that you use to start your stitching on so that you don't get nesting and you don't get all kinds of knotted up at the end when you go to sew on these smaller pieces. So I'm just going to start stitching on there like that. And then I'm going to take one of our pieces like this. What I love about AccuQuilt is they have, when you cut with their dies, they already do these little dog ears for you. So everything is trimmed and everything is cut perfectly so that all you have to do is match it up. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of my white triangles that we cut, and I am going to line this up. So I know that this one lines up like this. And that is the way that we're going to want our piece to lay. So like if I did it this way, it doesn't line up correctly. You can see that this part up here does not line up right there. It's got a little bit of an edging there. So then I flip it and then it fits perfect. So that piece on top there should be flush. If I can just keep my hand steady, should be flush like that. All right, so I'm going to start doing something that I like to call, well, not that I like to call, but that is called chain piecing. This makes everything go so much faster once you get your everything set up. So just start chain piecing. And chain piecing is just sewing the same stuff over and over again until you're done. And then you can start on the other. So this just makes it go so much quicker for me. Okay, so once you finish your chain piecing, you're going to have like a long row of your pieces connected. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a pair of snips or just a pair of scissors. And I'm just going to use my little snips here, and I'm just going to cut them. And it's going to look like this, because we still have to sew this one on. But this is how you would disconnect the chain piece. Okay, so I've already finished I finished putting on our first side. So now we need to add this side. And I have my stack right here, so I'm ready to start attaching them. I have done one already, so once you do that, you should have something that looks like this. And so I'm just going to show you how I do this. Now, again, I just start chain stitching so I can get them all done all at one time. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you're curious as to how long it takes to chain piece each one of these, it takes probably about 15 minutes to chain piece the whole stack. So once again, I'm going to take my little piece here, and I am going to just add it up top. Now, as you can see, this is not working because I have it in the wrong direction. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn it to where it should be right. And now it fits perfectly where I need it to be. We are ready to start assembling our block here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my pieces that we've pressed, and I'm going to take one of my triangles that I cut, and I am going to place this right side facing down. So you should have your two right sides facing each other. Then I'm going to match it up on this little corner over here. And you'll see why these little dog ears were so important when they cut them, because now you could line it up just like that. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to just use my leader again. And then I'm going to just stitch onto my fabric. And then when I get down to this point, I want to match this corner with this corner. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this one underneath just a little bit of a push, not too much. And then I'm just going to pull it back, and that's going to line that corner up exactly, just like that. Also, now that I have all of these finished, what I will do is I will just flip this one up, and I will finger press this like so. And then I will make sure that when I take this to the iron, I'm going to press towards my dark side. All right, so we are now ready to start chain stitching all of our blocks. So I've started sewing them together, as you can see here. And so I'm going to just set those aside for right now. I'm going to find my leader here, if I can. It's hiding from me. All right, well, we're going to do it without it then, I guess, because I have misplaced them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead. I chain stitched these just like I chain stitched all the pieces together. So I'm just going to start stitching down here. And then I'll show you how I put these together. And I am using the clips to hold them together so that everything stays nice and even here. So I'm going to take one piece of fabric that has all the colors in it, and then I'm going to take another one that's the opposite. So you'll see that they go together like this, okay? And then all that we do is we just put these two pieces together, right sides facing each other. And I am just going to nest them together because I have, the way I pressed these is that my seams are going to nest. So one seam is going this way and one is going this way, which makes it so much easier to nest these seams together. And that is what lines everything up absolutely perfectly. So I went ahead and I have hung my design piece up here, the first block that I made. And the reason I did that was so that I will know how to position my blocks, which way I want them to go, so that when I start putting them together, they will all flow the same way. So I am just using my weightless tabletop quilter from Dime for this. I've just got the little hooks holding it on my sewing table. You could also use a dog groomer's kit to also do this. Or anything that you can come up with that would just help you to remember and see what you're doing here. So I am going to now flip the camera. We're going to go back to the machine and I'm going to start putting this together. I'm looking at my design here and I know that my first square needs to go down like this. The next one here goes like this. That one goes not like that. It goes like this. And then this one would go like this. And so you can see how it has made that little star pattern there. So I have my white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, which is exactly how I want that. So now we're going to just put these together. We're going to sew them together. So I am going to take this side and then I'm going to actually butt up again. I'm going to line up my seams here, and again they are pressed opposite directions, and I'm glad I did it that way because now they will just nest perfectly with one another. And remember, you just want to feel for that to lock. Okay? And now we're ready to stitch this part down. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now I'm going to leave it on there like that, and then I'm going to I'm just checking to make sure it's right. It is. Okay, so that's the right side. Again, I'm going to line those up. Come on. You just definitely want to make sure that your seam is going to match up here. Mine's a little off, so I gotta keep working with it. There we go. Now I felt that lock in there. And I'm just gonna stitch down. Come on. Okay, so now that's done. And now we need to not cut this piece of thread here. So I'm going to open the bottom and I'm going to do it this way because that's where the darker piece is. So I'm just going to go ahead and finger press that down like that. And then here's our top, and I'm going to press again towards the darker side. So over here, like that. And everything looks good. I am going to go press these just because I want to make sure that these lay correctly. So I'm going to press those. I have my blocks pressed here. And now I'm going to just take it, they're still attached, and I'm going to flip it like this, right sides facing each other. And my seams are once again going in opposite directions, so I'll just nest them. You can see what I'm talking about here with the matching up. So see, even this one's a little bit off. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I've seen a whole lot worse, and I don't think anybody's going to be sitting there inspecting my quilt. So there you go. All right, so now we are ready to trim our block down. So I've brought it over to my cutting table here, my cutting mat. And I am going to cut this to make this a 12 by 12 block. So I'm going to take my 6-inch ruler and I'm just going to line it up here. And I'm just going to line up on the seam here and just make sure that everything is nice and straight and where it needs to be, and it is. And then I'm just going to give it a cut. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to put this straight onto my mat here, lined up on that line at the bottom, and I'm just going to do the same thing again. I was able to get one of the blocks finished, which I love. So actually this is my second block. I think it looks beautiful. I ended up changing the fabric, the background fabric for this to a lighter color, like a cream color. It just seemed to go with the cherry blossoms better. The other fabric had a little bit too much yellowing in it. So that's why I switched it up. So I'm very happy with the way that this has turned out. You can see it. Looks gorgeous. Anyway, I appreciate you sticking with me. I still have a cold. I've been fighting this cold for over a week now. It's gone through the whole house again. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I've been sharing shorts on here on YouTube, little snippets of what I've been working on. So I hope you catch those and you're enjoying those as well. Next time what we'll be doing is we will be sewing blocks together. We'll be putting the quilt together, and we'll be getting it ready for borders, and I'm not sure if we'll get to quilting it, but not right away, but maybe the third week. So anyway, that's what I've got, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you'd like to follow me on social media, the links are down below in the description box. All of the items that I've used are also down below in the description box. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you would like to share it, that's great, because sharing is caring. And don't forget to click the little bell. You'll get notified each and every time that I upload an awesomely cool new video. And keep on crafting. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.